It's not like I wanted to tell Mr. and Mrs. Snoopy what happened yesterday, but they kept asking questions when they noticed I wasn't acting like myself. That's what you get from wild animals. They have good instincts. Seriously, I don't really have a problem letting people know about my life. I just always end up regretting it at the end of the day if those two find out. I never learn. It's actually funny, compañero. You're always complaining about how I seem like a foreigner because I mix languages, and now you've pretended to be... who? John something? Don't remind me, what a joke. My terrible accent only made it worse. For once, I envy your linguistic ability, but don't get used to it. Not really. I'm only confident about it because I've lived abroad, that's all. Let's just get to the point already, Seer. Kier, what's important to us as men? That girl. On a scale of 1 to 10, how hot was she? Do you really believe I had the time to notice that? From your reaction, I'd say she was at least a solid 8. I decide not to answer that and instead raise an eyebrow, hoping that it'll be enough to deter Jose from pushing further. Sadly, I'm wrong. More than an 8 out of 10? Coming from someone so picky about real girls, she must look like an angel on earth. I can't wait to meet this sexy soother of troubled souls. It makes no sense to assume that there's any logic to Jose's crazy imagination. Luckily, the teacher finally comes into the room and instructs everyone to go to their seats. Based on the way Jose and Ziva say goodbye to me, I don't think they'll be leaving me alone today. The bell signaling the start of recess sounds like a celestial choir to my ears. Everyone shuffles out of the classroom in search of somewhere to take a break. However, I know that my own freedom won't come as easily. The teacher calls out to me before I can leave. The old, friendly literature teacher stands up and pulls me aside, ensuring that no one else can eavesdrop on our conversation. I politely ask him what he needs. I'm pretty sure that he pulled me aside in the first place, actually. I'm pretty surprised. Yeah, I read that right. Well, it's about the last assignment you had in class, the creative writing piece. It didn't have an ending. Did you forget to include it? No wonder it took me by surprise, since I forgot all about the assignment, but my teacher looks even more astonished when I explain that he already has the entire story in his hands. His expectations drop down to earth, and I watch him trying to figure out whether or not to make me write a proper ending, and a request he wouldn't hesitate making to any other student. I've received special treatment for a while now, ever since I won a writing competition. The funny thing is that I didn't even plan on participating in the first place. Turns out someone decided to enter one of my stories under my name without my permission. From then on, everyone started to assume I'd become a famous writer or something, and their theory was only supported even more by my notebook writing habit. It's not like I hate the idea or anything, and I don't care what other people think of me. I just don't care about writing as much as everyone wants me to, especially considering that I haven't won anything else since then. What else can I say? The ending doesn't seem finished, right? My teacher isn't confident about how he should react to my small interruption. He admits I'm right, but tries to soften the blow since it's not the first time we find ourselves in this kind of situation. I wouldn't put it like that. More like there's still Untapped potential. You know, the ending is like the opus magnum of every story. If it fails to meet the reader's expectations, then... I find it fascinating that a literature teacher struggles to find the most politically correct way to express himself. I can only admire a man that respects his pupils so much. Still, sometimes, just sometimes, I wish everyone would stop placing me upon a pedestal. I don't deserve this kind of special treatment. Everything would be easier. Write an ending. My thoughts are still scattered when I walk into the hallway, which is empty aside from one infamous person. I've been waiting for you! How is my favorite guy? Ziva decides to hang out with me whether or not I like it, and asks why it took me so long to come out. I brush it off as having to ask a question about the last assignment, but she isn't convinced and keeps pestering me as we walk outside together. Do you want to grab something to eat along the way? You can tell me about your plans for Mysterious Girl X. Sounds good, but I'm still not inviting you to anything. Who's Mysterious Girl X anyways? She sounds like a porn star. Don't play dumb, I'm talking about that girl you stalked yesterday. You still don't know if she sent you that email or not, so you should figure it out. And no, I won't ask you to invite me, although a real gentleman wouldn't mind paying for a lady's meal. Jose always pays for my meals, for example. I do admire your ability to take advantage of others, but I can actually control my hormones well enough to take off the white knight armor. Not to mention that Jose is loaded, so it doesn't matter if he pays for anything. Why do you think I'm even his friend in the first place? The worst part is, coming from you, I'd believe it. While bickering, we reach a small sandwich shop that's popular amongst all of the students. We wait in line, slowly but surely approaching the window where we'll be able to place our orders. Forget about Jose for now. You still haven't answered me about that girl X. Poor Jose, did he do something to make you angry again? You know what I meant. What are you going to order? I suddenly want to know what weird tastes you have, Ziva. Don't change the subject. Talking to you is like a war where the smallest mistake can lead to total annihilation. All warfare is based on deception. You should know that. I've already told you too much. The truth is that I'd rather not talk about this, else you might try to make it about psychology. You aren't my public enemy number 2 for nothing. 2? Who's first? Anyone who picks Bulbasaur as their starter Pokemon. Well, that's the real issues, Kieran. Why? He's super cute. No, wait. Stop changing the subject. There's one more thing that I want to know about this girl, and then I'll leave you alone. Don't you have an ace up your sleeve? Like, a plan to find out who she is? I tilt my head, deciding whether or not to answer Ziva's question, especially now that she's just reached the top of my public enemy list. I can't come up with any reason not to tell her, so I shrug before spilling the beans. I won't do anything about it. I shouldn't have done anything in the first place. In fact, even if I wanted to, I can't do anything now. My hands are tied, you know. Nevertheless, I think that you probably want to do something about it. You're always overthinking everything, but you can't lie to me. You're just too embarrassed to admit it, But you don't need to pretend to be a tough guy around me and Diane. Ziva looks down at me, confident that I'm an open book to her. It's that smart butt attitude of hers that I hate about her the most. Earlier you mentioned deception. Most people use it improperly. Do you know the difference between lying and deceiving? Don't start with that. This is just another psychoanalysis attempt, isn't it? No, I swear it isn't. I'll stick to the linguistic part of it. That was a lie, but since I didn't fall for it, you could say that you failed to deceive me. Good enough for you, miss? You could have skipped the cynicism, but yes, you're right. I wasn't lying though, you know. That's for the judge to decide. Anyways, hurry and order something, it's your turn. Oh, I didn't notice. Ziva has been distracted and forgot all about the line. She quickly recovers and orders a vegetarian sandwich. The clerk tells us that we'll still have to wait a bit for our food, so Ziva and I continue our chat. Oh yeah, you're one of those veggie freaks. Hey, Kieran, I take that personally. I am one too. Vegan? The word is vegan. Oh no, sorry Ziva, I'm just a veggie freak. How's the herbivore lifestyle? Do you get extra points for starving yourself more? What prize comes after anemia? Kieran, that is a horrible stereotype. Hilarious. First of all, you can still have a healthy diet without meat for your information. Yeah, a very healthy diet. Healthier than eating meat, actually. Secondly, it isn't something I do for fun. I take animal rights extremely seriously. You could at least try eating vegetarian meals before you knock them. They aren't bad at all. The clerk brings Ziva's food to her, which means it's my turn to place an order now. I'll have... I don't even know what you guys really have. Just stuff all the meat you can into a sandwich. And Diane! Yeah, sorry, that was really insensitive of me. Please. That isn't what I meant. What? I asked politely. Oh, you meant you wanted a bite of my sandwich. Sure, of course, I'll share with you. I give up. You're clearly just trying to piss me off. Yeah. He is. You and me both. We leave the shop with our sandwiches in hand. While talking, I ask Ziva if we can stop and sit somewhere together. I exhaustedly plop onto a nearby bench, closing my eyes and relishing in the sweet respite. Ziva looks annoyed and puffs out her cheeks when I look at her. She's not angry, but somehow serious. I apologize if you can hear the clippity-clop of claws on the hardwood floor, but my dog's burst into the room, and she wants to know what I'm up to. She's looking up at me like, why are you talking to yourself, Mom? That's what I do. This is what I meant by the difference between lies and deceit in Diane. You can lie all you want, but deceit always depends on how much the other person trusts you. There's no deceit without a lie, but there are lies without deceit. In this situation, you're both the liar and the deceived. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you're still craving a bite of my sandwich. Too bad, girl, you've already missed your chance. I already told you that I don't want it. That has nothing to do with it. How can I make you understand? Ziva folds her arms and racks her brain. Think of a schizophrenic trying to describe reality. To do that, he'd first have to lie to himself about what he's seeing, but he wouldn't be able to deceive himself about what his own reality is presenting. There's no use for him to distinguish between reality and delusion if what he feels is totally different, right? The tone our conversations usually have is gone. It starts feeling more and more like a lecture, and that pisses me off because we only have 20 minutes off for our breaks. Time we should be spending forgetting about class. Did you come up with all that crap on your own, or did you steal it from a book? It was me, I guess. It just came to me. Did it sound weird? In short, stop interrupting me. Your behavior is nothing more than a clear-cut example of an internal conflict. There's something you like and feel attracted to, but the closer you get to it, the more negative points about it come to mind. So you want to run away or avoid it somehow. My point is that we won't know what's going to happen until it actually happens. That's why I think you should be brave and get on with it. Between the email and the mysterious girl X, I'm positive that you want to know more about everything. Instead, you lie to yourself, believing that the situation is just too stupid. The real question is, can you deceive yourself? If you can't, then you won't deceive me either. You aren't convincing anyone. I look at Ziva in disbelief as she continues proudly bragging about her own words. I've come to a conclusion. I was right when I first said that you were lying. You caught me! In any case, lies are too demonized, in my opinion. Ziva grins after processing what I'd just said. In response, I begin sweating, realizing that I probably just opened Pandora's box. Thankfully, I'm saved by the bell as I notice a certain someone approaching us. Check it out! Jose says. Compañero, Ziva, here you are. I was speaking with some girls from the other side when... Who's this guy? Huh? Me? What do you mean? It's almost like I know you from somewhere or something. It must have been the work of a witch. I think she chanted a spell, something like, forget about Jose. But who's Jose? Stop twisting my words and Diane, you know that wasn't what I meant. Whatever, Jose. What were you saying before? It better be worthwhile. I lost you guys a while ago, and I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, back to what I was trying to say. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I hate it when that happens. I can't tell if you're only smart when you want to be, or if your brain just doesn't have the capacity for it 24/7. That's exactly why I believed you when you said you're Jose's friend, because of his money. Who wouldn't be? If you go to the other side again, then tell them to bring over your alter ego for a bit. Sorry. If you go to the other side again, then tell them to bring over your alter ego for a bit. It'd be convenient to have a competent Jose for once. Unfortunately, I suspect that it is the only Jose. What did you expect to get from interrupting me? The other side is our nickname for Enate Institute. It's down the street and directly opposite our school. It was even built from the same blueprint as our school. They probably reused the blueprint to save money, so they're completely the same, mirrored buildings placed on opposite sides. It's pretty close to here, a little more than 10 minutes walking. A lot of people wonder why they didn't just make one larger school instead of two smaller ones. The funny thing about it is that since the buildings look identical, we joke about alternate versions of ourselves going to school there, like clones or doppelgangers. At the other side, Students who have bad grades here are honor students. If someone's fat, then their clone is skinny. Stuff like that. It's an old joke now, but I still find it pretty funny. Oh yeah, I remembered what I was gonna say. Do you remember that weird email Kira got? Ziva and I nod simultaneously. Aze then pulls out his cell phone and, after playing around with it, shows us its screen. Is that another one? When he mentioned the email, I was already expecting this, and looking at the screen only confirms my fear. It's another weird email addressed to me. From Harry H. I wouldn't be opening up any emails from xxxxx.com. Just saying. To Kieran and Diane. Sorry about my, Sorry, I'm pulling an Aze and forgot what I was about to say. Sorry about my, not sticking with the same pronunciations. Subject, not for everybody. Can a lie become reality? If you want to know the truth, go find it this afternoon at the local sports center. Join it. Cryptic. Good luck choosing your first action. I stand there, wide-eyed and in disbelief. Aze puts away his cell phone and scratches his head in confusion. Do you remember how you used my phone to check your email the other day? I forgot to log out of your account, and my phone has been logged into it since. Yeah, we figured that, Aze. Excuse me. To my surprise, earlier today I opened an alert for a new email, and it turns out that it was actually for you. And well, that's what I read. Again? What did I do to deserve this? What do you mean? This is perfect. This time I can go with you. I want to know what happens. Me too. It's hysterical enough as a story. Imagine us getting to watch it live. What? No way. I'm not stupid enough to repeat the same mistake. Once bitten, twice shy. Aren't you curious? After what happened yesterday, we absolutely have to uncover the truth. Yes, Kieran, go with it. And you said that what happened yesterday was probably just a misunderstanding anyways. Whoever sent it is giving you a second chance. That's right. What happened to your depressing love story, eh? Are you going to abandon it now? That isn't the problem. What am I supposed to do? I don't even know what they mean by join it. Join what? That's what I thought too. I'm so excited to go there. Isn't there any way to convince you otherwise? Come on, Aze, help me. Even if it's one of those crazy schemes of yours. Crazy schemes? I see. There's no other way. Aze clicks his tongue in disapproval and sharply gazes at me. I guess we'll have to settle this with a bet. A bet? It's said that every human being chronically suffers from at least one sin. I don't think I'm usually greedy, but that naturally inherent part of me always wakes up with one word. Bet. The thrill of gambling, the risk, the possibility of getting caught cheating, and getting punished. Oh, well, this is taking a twist. Fortune is the vessel that brings men glory and excitement, a trophy of what has come to pass. And I'm prideful enough to always fulfill my promises and stick to my bets, no matter the cost or the prize. Everything I have in my wallet right now wagered against you going to the sports center with us. I motion for Aze to show me what's in his wallet first. Inside, there's a reasonable, sizable prize, well worth the challenge. Alright, Aze, I accept. However, following the proper rules for this kind of bet, I get to be the one who decides which game we'll play. Sure, I'm going to win anyways. There's only one way to put to rest our ongoing rivalry. A game where you, the lowly commoner, dies in glorious battle against the eternal, magnificent Hero King. We'll end this with a sled desk race. Sled desks? No way. Alright, sled desks. Let's do it. Care to explain what a sled desk race is? This is why I've been training day and night for an opportunity like this. You'll regret it when I make you step down from your throne. Is anyone gonna answer me? My fear is akin to what a human would feel in the face of being stepped on by an ant. Since I chose the game, do you want to establish any extra rules? Hey, I'm still here. What's a sled desk? Next break, one-on-one, a race to the death. To the death? Don't make me laugh. No more bets. The money's on the table and you can't drop out now. You know just how invincible I am when it comes to sled desks. Same goes for you. You might be surprised this time. We make our way back to our classrooms, bickering so offensively that sparks are flying at each other. Is anyone going to tell me what a sled desk is? In the end, the one who is forgotten is me. Jeez. Jeez. After returning from our break and finishing a class I can't even remember the lesson of, we begin preparing for our sled desk race. Ziva, the self-proclaimed impartial judge, stands next to me while I tune up my sled desk. I wanted to believe that your sled desks were a little more original than desks being used as sleds. Yeah, me too. Seriously, it's a freaking race on top of desks. Will Aze and you ever grow up, or what? You don't get it, do you? Sled desks represent the inner flame that burns inside of every man, a tool used to awaken our inner beasts. You can't understand it because you lack testosterone. More like patience. So, are you guys going to race in the hallway? It's kind of narrow for that. Besides, do you really think your desks will slide like sleds? Even if you get rid of the rubber on the legs, I don't think they'll... It's obvious how new you are here. You're just lucky to see a live sled desk race today. I don't know why we haven't done any this year before today. You see, the hallway is positioned at a downward angle, although it can be difficult to notice. When we discovered that, we realized that here's perfect for racing on top of pretty much anything. We agreed that desks were our best option for racing. That was how sled desk races were born, an important milestone for the future generations. I put tacks over the rubber on the legs of my desk so I can slide even farther too. I gently kick one of the desks to show Ziva how far it can go. Thanks to the tack modifications, it slides across the floor and reaches the classroom door effortlessly. The winner is the one whose desk goes the farthest distance in only one push. I see. I'm not really convinced though. These races have to end pretty quickly. The desks don't slide for more than 10 seconds. And that's exactly how long a race should take. It isn't like our breaks are that long either. I hear you. 10-second race sounds great. Then what's the fun part? You still don't get it? You'll see if you watch. The sled desks can awaken a man's inner strength, which can warp even time and space. Pay attention. Whatever. Alright. Come on, Isaiah, I believe in you. Are you ready to lose? Lose? Is that another one of your foreign expressions? I don't know what it means. I fear I'll have to teach you then, compañero. Desk versus desk in the narrow hallway. There's barely enough space for us to stand around. The most important part of each sled desk race is the beginning. The contestant with the best initial push will probably be the winner. There are also other obstacles in the way, making it pretty difficult to overtake your fellow racer once he has passed you. But you never know in a race to the death. There are no set rules. Anything goes. The other contestant can try to mess up his opponent at any moment by any means. That's why sled desk races are taken so seriously. You could get pretty hurt, so only the bravest students can compete. Zay and I are the only ones who participate in these races now that I think about it. I wonder why. Oh, it must be the intensity and the danger for sure. As judge, I'll give the starting signal and act as the commentator. Not that I think there's going to be much to say. I mean, are you guys ready to go? Start whenever. The only thing you need to ready are your lips, mi amor, since I'll take a kiss from you as my prize when I win. I'm going to ignore that. We're starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Arrgh! Wow! The race begins with a strong first push from both competitors. Their timing was in sync, both of them clearly taking into account how important the beginning of the race is. It's a perfect start. But what's this? Ozzy's in the lead. Ha ha ha! How does it feel to be eating my dust back there for once? Impossible! How can you possibly be faster than me? I was sure that... You were sure that I wasn't using tacks, right? After every race, I'd wonder how Kier was so fast. Defeat after defeat, my desk would always stop short while yours always seemed to fly past mine. I studied mechanics and engineering to figure out what could have happened. And then I had an epiphany. You were using tacks to reduce the friction. With a tack covering each leg, your desk was that much faster than mine. When I found out, I decided against telling you so that next time, I'd catch you off guard and I could use it to my advantage. Who's the smart one now? You've done all these races against him without ever knowing that? I noticed as soon as I saw his desk. Why do you think I accepted this bet? I'm not the champion because I'm good. It's because he's stupid. Don't spoil my glorious moment. In any case, it still doesn't make sense. We started at the same time with the same push. So, how did Aze get in the lead? What's going on? When the distance between the two of us widens, I notice a shimmering trail. Aze's desk is leaving behind a trail of some sort of liquid. That's... oil! Aze's desk legs are covered in oil. That's why his desk is faster. Ha! I wasn't satisfied with just being on even ground. I looked for more methods to improve my speed. And this is the result of my hard work. Maybe Aze isn't as dumb as he seems after all. I also drew some flames on the desk to improve its acceleration. In movies, the flaming cars are always the fastest, so it has to be legit. I take it back. While Aze is distracted, I begin my all-out attack. I toss everything out of my pencil case. Pens, pencils, scissors, a pencil sharpener, an eraser that looks like a pig, and even some of those fake chocolate coins, so ancient that their currency stopped existing more than a century ago. They fly through air towards Aze's unsuspecting sled desk. If I'm lucky and something hits it, his desk might slide backwards, awarding me victory. But it's not that simple. No way! Partially cloudy with an 82% chance of relative humidity and low pressure fronts. And an over 60% chance of rain during the day, so I brought an umbrella. Aze used his umbrella to defend against the incoming attack. Now Undyne has nothing left to throw. Time stands still for me, not because of an incoming premonition of my defeat, or the amazing fact that Aze can memorize daily meteorological data so precisely, but for the pain I feel after losing a friend. He once walked at the same path as I, and is now standing at the crossroads, facing another direction. He's unreachable, and even though I thought he was stupid, he's silently leaving me behind. Probably because he's too good for me. My dearest, pig eraser. I watch as it bounces off the umbrella, jumps past the hallway and into the abyss, forever lost to me. To tell the truth, I had found it on the floor a couple of days ago, so really I had probably just stolen it from some unlucky fool. Our time together was so short that I didn't even remember that I had it in my pencil case until now. Still, it was the most powerful and touching relationship I've ever had with an eraser. Farewell, my old friend. Vendetta! Undyne's gaining ground. How is it possible? He's using his opponent's oil trail to lose friction and speed up. Between the oil and Aze's umbrella temporarily slowing him down, Undyne is about to catch up. If he tackles him, he might... Not so fast. I still have one more trick up my sleeve. Aze took something out of his umbrella. He has a ruler! But it's not just any ruler. It's a meter stick. Where did he get that from? You know what I'm going to do now, right? Checkmate, companero. Crap! Aze flung the meter stick in Undyne's path. It's like a landmine. It's impossible for you to avoid it, Undyne. At this speed, it can only end in catastrophe. Jump, Undyne! Save yourself! It isn't worth it! I can't give up now. I promised that I'd never forget. I can't let my pencil sharpener's sacrifice be in vain. No, wait, it was an eraser. Right, an eraser. I'm not really sure whether it was an eraser or a sharpener. Whatever it was that I cared about, my desk collides with the ruler. The back legs of my desk flies upwards, flipped by the inertia. An instant later, the front legs follow suit. I'm about to fall. Nevertheless, what the... It's the sound of an angel. Yes, I can hear it. The angels singing, giving me their blessings. A hallucination, or maybe even a revelation. Anyway, it's here. I can see the heroes of old sled desk races standing next to my eraser, telling me that I shouldn't give up yet. Thanks, everyone. It wasn't necessary. With my newfound divine strength, I managed to flip my desk further to the point that it's now totally upside down. And from here... Go! I hold the desk legs while I stand on the underside of the table as if it's a skateboard. I grind my way onto the banister and manage to overtake Aze. I jump, and with a hard flip, I make the desk return to its original position, allowing me to successfully continue the race. At last, I'm in the lead. How did he do that? Now Aze's desk is grinding against mine. The two rival desks rub together, creating small sparks of fire and indents in the wood paneling. Sounds sexy. The end of the track is coming up, but Aze and I know that there's still something we have to do. You surprised me, compañero. I won't deny it. But it isn't over yet. We're going to settle this with our bare hands. Two men in motion on a battlefield. We both stand on our desks, accompanied by the hellish squeal coming from the friction between them. No words are necessary. Dialogue won't accomplish anything. It is now with our fists that one of us will fall and the other will grasp victory. Jump, quickly! But Ziva's sudden warning makes us come back to reality. Haven't we been sliding for too long anyways? I mean, it's true that everything seems to slow down when there's this much tension, but this is a bit too much. When accounting for the oil, it makes sense that we're farther than usual. This isn't good, though, because at the end of the hallway there's... the stairs! Ooh. Aze and I managed to jump off our desks at the last second, saving ourselves from a nasty fall. The stairs don't go down that far, so the desks still seem to be alright. Everything would be perfectly fine if not for one tiny detail. Oh, I know where this is going. At the bottom of the stairs, clearly frightened by her near-death experience with flying sled desks, we find the new substitute teacher. What do we do now? Here? Congratulations, Aze. You're the sled desk race champion. I'm retiring from all future competitions, so feel free to forget about my past titles and that I ever existed in the first place. As the new champion, you need to explain what happened to the administration. The fate of the global sled desk lead rests on your shoulders. Farewell. What are you even talking about? Here, compañero, where are you going? I'm at the nurse's office. Rather than leaving the school through the main entrance, I prefer going out from here instead. It isn't like there's a real nurse here, though, so the attendant is actually the groundskeeper. She handles a lot of different tasks, from paperwork to carrying all of the keys. If you persuade her that you're sick enough, you can take a nap here for a while and sneak out after she leaves. Since she handles so many different things, she won't usually notice if you're gone by the time she comes back. In any case, she doesn't trust anyone, so the nurse's office collects dust more than anything. Then how do I convince her to let me stay? Easy, I told her the truth. My right leg aches badly. I sit on one of the beds and massage my leg from the knee down, hoping it'll lessen the pain. Afterwards, I take out a small bottle of painkillers and stare at it as it sits in the palm of my hand. I decide against opening it and put it back in my pocket. I lay on the bed and close my eyes before I start taking deep breaths until I eventually feel myself get lost deep in thought. The new substitute must be pissed. She may have not seen us do it, but it's just a matter of time until she figures it out. Nobody got hurt, but even I recognize that we went overboard. If yesterday's prank made her angry, I can't imagine how she took this one. I wonder, will they finally punish me this time? After 15 minutes, I feel better. I get up and walk over to the window. The nurse's office is on the first floor, so you can climb down into the back field, making it the perfect place to sneak out from. I haven't made a habit of it, but this won't be the first time that I escape out this window when I want to play hooky. Let's see. Although it's a small fall, my leg still hurts. Thankfully it's tolerable, but that doesn't change how uncomfortable feeling it is. I'll rest more once I'm home. Better get going. There's a fence behind the school that separates it from the park. No one goes back there, and the fence has a locked gate that's easy to pick if you're skilled enough. Once you're in the field, the park is only several steps away. I make my way through the park and to the pond and begin writing in my notebook. It's not like I have anything better to do, but you'd think by now I would have learned how dangerous it is to walk around with my face stuffed in a book. Oh hey, the Seagull Park. What was that? Something suddenly hits me in the stomach. Thankfully, it doesn't really hurt. At first, I don't see anything, but when I look down, I find the culprit. Could it be the little cute girl that hangs out at the Seagull Park? Yep. That hurts. At my feet, there's a girl with her hands wrapped around her head. At first, I think it's because she ran into me, but then she starts to panic for seemingly another reason. She keeps swatting at the air around her head, and when she realizes that there's nothing there, she goes pale. My hat! She gets visibly nervous, her eyes darting around the area. After a moment, she settles on looking at my shoes. Or, more precisely, what's behind them, none other than her previously missing hat. I bend over to pick it up, brushing the dirt off as best I can before handing it back to her. This is yours, right? The girl nods in relief as she reaches out her hands to retrieve her possession. At the last second, I raise my arms and pull the hat out of her reach. She seems familiar somehow. Her name is on the tip of my tongue, but nothing comes to mind. I'm positive I've met her before. I bring the hat closer to her, watching as her face lights up with happiness. But I still can't remember who she is. One more time. I move the hat out of her reach and watch her as she automatically grows anxious. I could do this all day. Let's meet Kieran. Finally, I relent and return her belonging. I know better than to tease little girls too much. She gets up and inspects her hat, desperately placing it back upon the top of her head as if her life depends on it. She looks so happy. Some people are so easily satisfied. But I still haven't figured out how I know her. Maybe taking a closer look will help. She responds doubtfully, staring me down as she slowly takes 2 steps towards me. Eventually, we're only inches apart from each other. I still can't remember her. It's like I know her, but I can't put a name to the face. Suddenly, she surprises me and breaks the silence with the question. Are you going to keep staring like that, or kiss me already? I suddenly break the Guinness World Record for backflips, barely managing to stutter anything in response. Kiss you? I wasn't going to. Oh, so it was a staring contest? I won, right? What's my reward? When she shows me her radiant smile, I remember who she is. That nutcase from yesterday. I think part of me tried to block that event out of my memory. Understandably so. However, I have to admit that I'm pretty curious to know what her deal is. Our encounter yesterday was just so random and weird that I can't help but feel curious. There's no reward. It wasn't a contest in the first place. I just couldn't remember who you were. Mysterious Girl Y? Mysterious Girl Y? X is already taken. It's a long story. Look, it doesn't matter. It was just a misunderstanding. Let's start over again from the beginning. Who are you? What's your name? Okay, my name is Clara Garris. I'm 18 years old. My blood type is B. I'm 4'9" tall. I'm 4 foot 9 inches tall. I weigh 97 pounds. My measurements are 25, 20, 27. My favorite color is silver. And my favorite periodic table element is tungsten. Oh, Good choice. Tungsten is my favorite metal. No, wait a second. Don't mess with me. What kind of introduction was that? You said you're 18 years old? Are we in the same grade? I thought you were a kid. How would I know? You haven't even introduced yourself yet. What kind of gentleman refuses to introduce himself to a lady before conversing with her? I totally understand that you're nervous after failing to kiss me, but you have to get over it. Believe in yourself. Second time's the charm. I wonder if she's doing that on purpose or if she really is insane. In the end, I decide to introduce myself, pushing aside her weird attempts at cheering me up. Without getting into too much detail, I explain what I'm doing here so I can resolve the misunderstanding, if there was ever a misunderstanding in the first place. I know that I shouldn't just go with the flow, but I think that it's probably harmless to observe this odd specimen. After I introduce myself, I try to learn more about her. She responds quickly and clearly when I ask about her studies. She tells me that she's currently studying at the other side, Enate Institute. That explains how I didn't know her when we were in the same grade and there are only 2 schools in the area. When I ask her what she's doing at the park, however, her attitude changes dramatically. I wanted to skip school, so that's what I did. Nothing else to it. So you're a troublemaker, I see. It suits you. You already have the issues for it. Maybe, but I have my own reasons for it too. The tenderness in her words, even after I've mocked her, surprises me. Is this really the same girl from a minute ago? What reasons are those? I already told you the truth, because I wanted to. But you won't believe me, right? The most logical reasons would be that I felt too stressed out, controlled, and pressured, and that's why I ran away. Those types of things could easily lead me to do this. Would that answer satisfy you? That isn't why I came here, but it's the conclusion you're going to arrive at anyways, so I don't need to give you any more details. Hold on. If you don't want to answer, then you don't have to. No need to take it so seriously. Everyone has the right to their secrets. Is that so? It's obvious that Claire doesn't believe me. What's wrong with her? I don't understand. It's a lot easier when you have a convenient excuse. For example, when someone invites you out but you don't want to go. If you tell them you have to work, take a test, or go on a date with your sweetheart, then you can get rid of the issue in the blink of an eye. Speak of the devil. Tell me, Kieran. Claire takes a deep breath and closes her eyes for a second before casually asking me an unexpected question. Do you want to go out with me? What? Be my boyfriend, my partner, my better half. It wasn't a difficult question. This is the second time she's thrown an inconceivable question at me. What kind of joke is this? We haven't even known each other 5 minutes before she confesses to me? She seems to be completely serious right now. Her face says that she's not messing around. She sincerely confessed to me. I believe her so much that it's scaring me. I hesitate, stuttering while trying to answer. I have a difficult time looking her in the eyes. I'm too nervous and frightened. Claire then places her index finger against my lips, silently telling me to stop. You took too long to answer, and that's no good. A half-baked answer won't do it for me. After all, to me, the most important thing is that you're truthful. I swallow deeply while lost in thought, questioning how difficult it is to decipher her words, or rather, her. Claire seems to notice my uncertainty, or maybe it's curiosity. She turns around and begins pacing with her hands behind her back. It looks like she's looking for or thinking about something. With a smile on her face, she finally announces her thoughts. know. Let's play a game as an example. It's pretty simple, so you'll be able to understand what I was trying to say. Claire's in high spirits, more like she was at the beginning of our conversation. I shrug. It isn't like I have anything to say about it anyways. Imagine on top of that tree over there, there's a nest with baby birds, and waiting on top of that rock next to it is a hungry cat. Let's call him Sneeza. Sneeza? Why Sneeza? I don't know, it's cute. Don't you like it? Why aren't you naming the birds, too? Giving names to imaginary birds? Are you totally insane? I forgot who I was talking to for a second. Please just get on with it before I decide to drown someone in the pond. There isn't much else to say. The question is simple. What do you do? That's a pretty unimaginative question, eh? It's pretty typical. Sorry, I don't know why I'm being so Canadian with my is. You know, if you scare the cat away and save the chicks, then the cat will die of hunger. If you help the cat, then the birds will die. In the end, you have to choose who dies and who lives. Most people would just let nature take its course, since you can't have everything work out perfectly all the time. It's the circle of life. Simba and stuff. That's the problem, though. Aren't you a part of nature, too? It's easy to forget that when it's convenient for you. If I chose to take the cat with me, then I'd have to do it for everyone, so it's not viable. I can't involve myself anyways, because maybe the cat prefers to live that way. Those are the excuses we make so that we can benefit the most in the end, to make our lives easier. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're only human. There are times when even our selfish decision is the best one, too. But can you accept what comes afterward? What comes afterwards? That's why I don't plan on explaining myself to you any further, and why I won't accept any half-baked love confessions from anyone. Get it? Next time, try to do a better job, okay? For some reason, it all seems to make sense to Claire, but I'm not as convinced. I don't know what the heck she just tried to explain to me at all. Some say it's impossible to understand women. This lady wins first place, hands down, as the most complicated. Oh, I gotta go. I forgot my bag in the classroom, and if I don't go back for the next class starts, I might lose it. Why didn't you bring it with you? That's what I did. I also switched desks with another guy so it wouldn't look like I'd left. He isn't guilty of anything, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to survive. Isn't that what you just tried to tell me? What are we even talking about? My criminal record. Nothing you should pay attention to. To be completely honest with you, I just wanted to get the last word in after your weird tirade. Don't worry about it, Kieran. Not everything in the world makes sense. We're already ninja accomplices. We're already ninja accomplices. Our bond is thicker than blood. You don't have to hide anything from me, comrade. I don't think anyone has ever gone to jail for skipping class, but if they do go after us, I plan on blaming it all on you, comrade. Boo, you were so nice the other day, and now you're acting like this. What a letdown, Kieran. Minus 50 affection. Don't give up, though. I know you're better than that. Believe in yourself for me, alright? Until next time. Adieu. I just decided to add the adieu in. Sounds like something she'd say. Ending our conversations with words of encouragement, Claire starts to walk away. She turns around and enthusiastically waves to me after every couple of steps. So enthusiastic for a goodbye. And I just lost 50 affection. Now that I think about it, she said weird things last time too. I may not know what goes on in her head, but I know one thing for sure. For better or worse, This probably won't be the last time that I cross paths with her.